Can you beat Slay the Spire while in Wrath stance? Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. Welcome to the new year. Today, the Watcher doubles down on the spotlight in a community challenge that has well over 50 attempts. The rules are simple. We can only play cards once we're in Wrath stance. That means the first card we play must be one of these 4 cards. And once we're in Wrath form, we can't leave it. No stance dancing today. Now, you might be asking yourself, how is this even possible? With the Corrupt Heart doing double damage, won't we just die to its 120 attack? Wait, did you just say 100? With 16 concluding, wishful, and uncommon challenges behind us, this one really is going to take absolutely everything we've got. So, sit back, get yourself comfortable, for it's time. Time to climb. Climb time. This week's video will have references to every challenge I've uploaded in 2025. See if you can spot them all. Let's do this, guys. Today, we are presented with 4 choices. Transform a card. Enemies in the next 3 combats have 1 HP. 2 card removals, or exchanging our relic with a random boss one. I checked the map. No free boss this time around, but there did show possibility for a free Flaming Elite. And with how important a strong start was in this challenge, I once again look to Niao's Lament. Greeting us to the challenge was a couple of louses. We can't play any cards until we're in Wrath form, so we lose 12 health before we can take them down. We get 13 gold, and for the cards, Crescendo was a very nice card to see so early in the run. We then get welcomed into the first Merchant's Domain. I expand his rug. There weren't many good options here, but a card removal on our Vigilance still left me a happy customer. Lament fight number 2 was up next, and because we had wrathful cards, the Jawworm simply leaves behind his spoils. 13 gold, a stance potion, and for the cards, out of these options, there was nothing here that I wanted to add. Our first question mark encounter was the Scrap Ooze event. I hadn't had the greatest experience with this one so far, but after a little health, we get the relic Teardrop Locket. This starts us off in calm every combat, and though we couldn't play cards until entering Wrath, we'll get a solid burst of energy when we do. Talking of relics, our next question mark event has us ambushed by the legendary cow, Akabeko. Moving along, our final charge of Niao's Lament was still intact for the Flaming Elite, the Gremlin Knob. He goes down without issue. We get 28 gold, the Mango Relic, and with only Flying Sieves being available for us here, I decline them all. From strength to strength, Floor 7 had the Face Trader event. It's one of the few events that I let you guys have complete control, and I'm glad you did. We got the Serpent Head, giving us 50 gold every time we enter a question mark room, though not the mask they were hoping for, to be clear. Now for a few combats, an area in which the Watcher does particularly well in for the early acts. Occultist first. Crescendo and 2 strikes bring him down to 12. He then buffs for a future turn, but that will never arrive. We get 16 gold and a consideration. Protect. We had found this to be a strong defensive card in previous attempts. If it was upgraded, I'd take it, but for now, I decide to pass. The guaranteed relic chest of the act was next. A legendary chest. It held inside the Toxic Egg. Let's go. We then had ourselves a couple of battles. I say battles, but with how little health Act 1 enemies have, both these mushrooms and this cultist and louse stood no chance at all. I pick up their gold, decline their ambrosia potions, though we could have used them before entering Wrath for extra damage. Oops. And for their cards, I say no to the shrooms, but yes to the now upgraded Protect. It was now time for our first real fight against the Sentries. Our opening hand was strong. I take aim at the front floaty thing, then Eruption, strike it down. 1 defend was all that was left for us before they deal 13 damage. Turn 2, we only have 1 strike. I send it into the middle sentry, then protect us to bring their 18 swing down to 2. Our early aggression pays off, with 3 strikes taking the middle one down. We take 8 damage next, and finish the final one off shortly after. They leave us behind 32 gold, the Gremlin Horn Relic, which is incredibly strong for encounters that have multiple enemies, and for the cards, an important pickup, Crush Joints. Being able to apply both vulnerable and weak in this challenge is going to be of paramount importance. Another question mark encounter next means another 50 gold for us. 2 upgrades for a little bit of health. It hits both our defend and newly acquired crush joints. Very nice. The final merchant of the act greets us and our serpent head with open arms. There were some tasty offers here. Signature move for damage, swivel for defense. Heck, even the prismatic shard was of consideration here. The sash whip was obviously coming with us for its weak application, but what wasn't so obvious was the choice that I made next. I buy the meal ticket. With us naturally navigating towards merchants, plus the volatility in our health, a 15 HP recovery could come in handy. I also pick up a block potion on the way out. The final rest site was now here. We heal up to 47 health, or it was time for the boss of Act 1, the Guardian. We get a strong opening hand. Crescendo gets us into Wrath form, Crush Joints and Akabeko puts him into defense mode. Our Sash Whip does 4. Turn 2, we can only protect and strike, taking 5 ourselves. But with 32 damage now showing, this wasn't looking good. I decide to save our block potion for later, playing out all of our defense. We get blessed with a strong hand next, giving us just enough damage to delay that 40 swing. More defending turns for us, more attacking turns for him. Now only 6 health remained, but thanks to our vulnerable application, 2 strikes and a sash whip were just enough to keep our head above water. I then sash whip, carefully defend the thorns before striking, and with 3 health remaining, we just take him down. That was close. We really needed to find some defense, and find it soon. Reward-wise, we get 95 gold, and for the cards, Lesson Learned was a very nice sight to see. Having access to upgrades will allow us to fully utilize rest sites for their healing nature. Now, for the relics. Velvet Choker, Black Star, or Sacred Bark. All paths here had valid consideration. Because we aren't stance dancing, Velvet Choker adding additional energy is a solid choice here. Sacred Bark offers double potion effects, and Black Star offers death. With how potent potions could be in the fights to come, once again decide to call on an old friend. Come on, Buck, let's go on an adventure into Act 2, the city. Assessing the map, I wanted to find a route that maximized rest sites and merchants, for healing was my top priority here. Greeting us to the act was the Shelled Parasite. Eruption in our opening hand lets us get started. I play our Sash Whip for weak application, then defend twice to partially mitigate his first attack. Our Crush Joints shows up next, and with Vulnerable now active, we have the ability to defeat him. Or we could wait a couple of turns to play our Lesson Learned. The greed takes over. We lose 4 health here, then another 11 here. Whether or not it was worth it, I'll let you guys decide. We get 15 gold, and once again, no good card choices. Sporadic Seduction then takes a hold with the Cursed Tome event. At least 2 of the 3 books here are solid. So I read, losing 1 health, 2, 3, 10. We get Necronomicon. We might not have any expensive attacks right now, and I didn't exactly love the curse, but we will surely pick up at least 1 wallop this run. Surely. The merchant opens his doors for us next. If only. There were solid cards here. Sands of Time for damage, Cut Through Fate for scry, an upgraded panic button. Just remember, every card we add reduces our ability to enter Wrath in the opening turn. So I settle with embracing my inner Susan, taking the Sands of Time. Back to battles against a flock of birds. Crescendo and striking twice allow us to get started. We take 5 damage in return. Turn 2, 46 damage was now showing, but our hand was strong. Double Lesson Learned removes the front one, Sash Whip, Crush Joints and Strike knock the middle one down. We finish him off next, protect and defend against the 26 attack, then our Sands of Time finishes the fight. We get 15 gold, an attack potion, and for the cards, I decline them all, keeping close eye on the size of our deck. A warm meal heals us 15 at the following merchant, and though I didn't expect us to be able to afford much here, an upgraded Crescendo was a welcome sight to see. With very little gold now remaining, we could just give it to this group of masked bandits, but they have low health, and we have high damage, so we fight. Our opening hand was graced by Olympus herself. Crescendo gets us into Wrath, the legendary cow assists striking Pointy down. Then, thanks to our Gremlin Horn drawing Sands of Time, take Bear down too. The following turn has a cool interaction. Regardless if it's the original copy or the Necro version, taking an enemy down with either lesson learned will still apply its upgrade. This time, it was our Eruption. We get 31 gold, the Red Mask Relic, and no cards that I wanted to add. Our deck was finding good synergies. Just look at this turn 1 against Snecko. The problem we had was our defense. We can't beat Act 3 bosses in our current state, nor could we even contemplate the heart. Snecko upgrades our Sash Whip's weak application, but leaves us no further reward. We then give a defend to a beggar, pick up the Sapphire Key, reject the innate curse from the Mausoleum, and because we were healthy, upgrade our Sands of Time, before we get ambushed by a legendary chest. Stone Calendar. A fantastic relic, though us living 7 turns in a combat without being able to leave Wrath form will be few and far between. Now it was time for the Centaurian and his, chiropractor? Our opening hand wasn't strong. With no way of entering Wrath, we have to pass, taking 9 damage as consequence. Turn 2, we were back in business. I crescendo, Eruption, then decide to drink our attack potion, finding not just 1, but 2 bowling bashes. I use them both, taking down the knight. We then wait and defend the next couple of turns before our lesson learned gets the final blow. For the rewards, we get 18 gold and a potion that will become this story's unsuspecting hero. 1 fight remained before the boss. It was the Chosen and the Cultist. I crescendo, strike down the Cultist. Gremlin Horn then finds us a defend before the Chosen deals us 6. Turn 2, I hold off on our Sands of Time, instead striking to look for upgrade. Next, I apply Weak with Sash Whip, protect for full defense, and debuff her with our Crush Joints. But with 40 damage now showing, not even I was that greedy. I play our Sands of Time before we get rewarded with one of the greatest potions that we could have asked for. A fairy in a bottle. I have died so many times to the automaton's hyper beam, so this was a very pleasant sight to see. I also add the bowling bash offering, as it proved quite potent against the Centaurian. Walking into the final rest site, I knew this was going to be tough. We recuperate our health once again, for it was time for the boss of Act 2. The Automaton. Crescendo enables our start, strike and Sash Whip take off an artifact. The minions arrive. I check the draw pile. Identify that our sands will be taken by the front minion, so split the damage, sending our bowling bash to the boss and our strikes to the orb. The block potion keeps us healthy. Turn 3, we manage to draw just enough damage to get it back. Our Gremlin Horn then procs, which I follow with a strike and defend. Take 8 further damage. Time was ticking. 40 damage now showed. I continue our line of aggression. That hyper beam was no joke. Necronomicon doubles our Sands of Time to deal over 100 damage. Miracle then adds our Crush Joints for 20. They respond in kind. Get brought down to 28 health. But we aren't stopping here. I bowling bash the boss, then strike. The 102 hyper beam was now here, but so were we. And with only 12 health remaining, I play out our Sands of Time to take him down. Now that felt good. The aggressive line paid off, and it saved our fairy. I was feeling on top of the world. I was feeling... For the rewards, we get 98 gold, a strength potion, and no cards that we should consider. But with a mixture of greed and blind confidence having now taken hold, I couldn't stop myself taking the wish. It's not like this card will single-handedly stop us entering Wrath form in multiple Act 3 combats, right? Moving on, the relics. We get Violet Lotus, Slaver's Collar, or Holy Water. We weren't going back into Calm, so that's a no to Lotus. Holy Water was good for a more controlled burst of energy, or Slaver's Collar. The consistency it would bring to bosses, not to mention Act 4, had me convinced. Come on, Collar, let's bring this one home. As we enter Act 3, the Beyond. This was where many runs had fallen previously, and with a severe lack of defense, my goal was all but the same, finding safe passage through these treacherous lands. As our downfall began, with a trio of Darklings, There wasn't a way to enter Wrath in our opening turn, nor was there one for our second. Yeah, we're really taking 44 damage here. At the very least, our turn 3 was solid. Sands of Time removes the front blob, Bowling Bash and Strike remove the back one, Eruption takes a chunk off the final gloop for our lesson learned, finishes it off. For the rewards, we get 16 gold, and I choose to skip on both Potion and Card Offering. We then make a quick stop by the Purifier next. This allows us to strike a card from our deck before we get challenged by a single Orb Walker. And as if a mirror to the fight just before, we managed to take this Orby boy out on our opening turn. Only 12 gold was left for us. I didn't value the Thorns Exchange nor any of these card offerings. Talking of things I didn't want, madness befell us in the winding hallways, causing us to lose 4 max health. We then get challenged by one of the worst enemies we could have asked for, the Transient. A Wrathless start? Again? No, we can't. I consume the Strength Potion, then drink our Entropic, and holy smackaroni, in the pepperoni! A Fire Potion and a Stance Potion? I don't hesitate in entering Wrath form. Then, with our 4 strength now present, we defend every single, and this one, attack. Man, that felt good. A swivel did show itself in the card rewards here, but with our Necro being paramount to victory, I decide to leave it behind. What I don't leave behind is the red key. Was this rest site the best place to get it? No, it wasn't. But for me, it was definitely the right one. Now, it was time to enter the first of 3 merchants. We take the heal, and though we have a lot of gold, it's important to not get carried away here. There were a few solid offerings. Tantrum, Anchor, a card removal. Ultimately, I choose to buy only the Tantrum and remove a defense from our deck. The next battle had us face the Shapes. Multiple enemies are a lovely sight to see. Our Akabeko Tantrum combo deals 33 damage, Lesson Learned then upgrades itself, Wish gives us money. And thanks to these Shapes having very little health, double Sands of Time was enough to finish them off. After picking up the 12 gold, I, looking back, make a small misplay. I decide to pick up another Tantrum. It should have been the Crescendo here. Getting into Wrath is one thing, but having our draw pile consistently blocked by 2 cards? That wasn't. The guaranteed relic chest was up next, awarding us the Strike Dummy. Cool. Back to the merchant with 556 gold. This time, his offerings were much more appealing. I look to the on-sale Ragnarok. It wasn't a smart choice by any means, but it was one that could be fun. I then pick up my grandfather's Millennium Puzzle for draw power, leaving behind both the Duplication Potion and card removal. You have this comment to thank for what's about to happen. It was now time to duel. I start by playing our Tantrum, putting us in attack mode. Then I send our Miracle to the graveyard to play both our Crush Joints and call upon Slifer, the executive producer, taking his life points down to 97. I then choose to hold back to proc our Pot of Greed. This lets me draw 3 cards in exchange for 10 health. Wish grants us gold, then Time Wizard sends him back to the beginning of time. We get 13 gold, a skill potion, and and I skip the cards. Moving on. We enter the last of the 3 merchants. Still not a single wallop. At the very least, Dark Shackles would aid us in our defensive venture, as would this weak potion, which I exchanged for one of ours. Keeping the rest of our money for Act 4, I cautiously move forward into further battles. The Darklings return. Oh, how different this time would be. Eruption gets us into Wrath form, then Ragnarok plays 2 times. Wow. Gremlin procs for Strike, then again for our Lesson Learned, which didn't proc twice. Whoops. I save face with Wish's Gold, then Miracle to strike victorious. And though we didn't get an upgrade, we did get a Flex Potion. Just think about the Ragnarok. I pick it up, pass the cards, and move on to our final enemy, the half-cooked Ramen Monster. No Wrath in our opening hand. Again, 15 damage gets sent into us. We get a 3 draw from our puzzle, then it was our turn to attack. Crescendo into Sands of Time takes it down to 43 health. We then apply our weak, and because I didn't want to risk a curse, protect and lose 6. Lesson Learned shows up next and gets our Ragnarok fully upgraded. We get 20 gold, and I say no to both the potion and card rewards. The final rest site was now here. I was nervous. With us having such little block, can we really survive against the Time Eater? Now fully rested, it was time to find out. This wasn't a good opening hand, and this wasn't how we start this boss. Let's try that again. It was now time. Time for time. Time. This still wasn't a good opening hand, and this means we have to pass. The snail shields himself for 20. We get debuffed with the bad stuff. Turn 2, things weren't improving. I play our weak potion, Crescendo into Wrath form, then Tantrum to deal 64. Protect and Defend provide us weak protection, while I exhaust our lesson learned from the deck. We take 24. On the next turn, I make a very interesting decision. He could play out all of our attacks here and proc his clock, but I don't decide to do that. I Sash Whip and pass. This was not a good decision. We have no defense in this hand, and he shows 58. Even with us playing the best we can, it wasn't enough. The high pressure of us getting this far was causing the cracks to show. Thankfully, 66 damage was a very easy number for us to achieve, with our wish providing us the strength to take him down. One small mistake really does spell out the end for us here, but as it stands, even if we play perfectly against the hearts, we currently held no combination of cards that would win. Is this it? Act 4, the finale. 1 upgrade, 1 merchant, 1 elite. We need a wallop, but first, upgrade. Well, that was an easy choice. Okay, now wallop, please. I had never been so disappointed by a merchant in my entire life. Prey, foresight, magnetism. The faint glints of hope began to fade, but I wasn't ready to give up. Not yet. I pick up every single potion. I even pick up the blind. Then, with our heads held up high, I charge us into the final elite, the shield and spear. No wrath on turn 1, no problem. We may lose over a third of our health. We may get gifted 2 burns. But my mind was open, as this would probably be our last fight. I enter a flow state, and from this hand, I find lethal. Tantrum enters us into wrath. Miracle allows us to play our wish for strength. Then we watch a lightning strike down from the heavens. There was nothing more satisfying. Our trusty Gremlin Horn then procs, and thanks to our strike dummy, we had exactly perfect damage to take them down. For the rewards, we get the oddly smooth stone and a fear potion. But who was I kidding? I knew this was the end. That was until the final card reward. Dude! This single card gives us a slither of a survivor's chance, and as you know, that's all we need. With Wallop in hand, it was now time for the final boss of the Spire, the Corrupt Heart. We have to play this perfectly. Not even a small mistake can be allowed. A solid opening hand presents itself. Crescendo gets us into Wrath form. The beat of the drum draws us 3. I get our vulnerable potion online, then get us started. Together, Tantrum and our cow deal 132 damage. I then defend, strike and sash whip to continue the week. Eruption and strike finish our incredible opening turn, but now was the hearts. Daze, slime, wound, burn and void all get added to the deck. Turn 2, not good news. We draw the wallop. This was our answer to its 120 attack. It was over. No, not yet. We just need to deal 489 damage in 1.5 turns. Right, Ragnarok deals 9 damage per hit, 13 with vulnerable, and if we necro, it hits 12 times. Okay, let's include the flex potion, accounting for wrath, vulnerable, and weak. This makes Ragnarok deal 36 damage per hit. 36 times 6, 216. Wallop now deals 50 times 2, that's 316. We can still hit the damage cap and get fully defended. The beats of the drum come flying at us, but it was now or never. Dude, we did it!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's go!
Thank you so much for watching the video. I can't believe we got this one. I mean, come on. Wallop as the final card reward? You can't script this. And if you think this month's video was crazy, there is an incredible one coming next. Now, the giveaway results. Over the Christmas streams, I gave away 3 copies of Slay the Spire 2. I also had a random number generator choose a comment in the last video. It is an absolute honour to award this month's copy to Mew. Well done, Mew. You truly deserve it. I also want to say a special thank you to everyone who is supporting me on Patreon. Broccoli Emoji, Druv, Mew, Phil, Datfish, Roju, Lee's Waffle, Maths, Splashed, Pokemon Trainer Mike, Mum, and Dad. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart. With the weather only getting colder, remember to keep yourselves warm and, as always, stay hydrated.